gon' play it when you ain't seen nothing this player. Me and my squad gon' turn on the squash like we don't see no other players. Ain't nothing to squash, ain't nothing to solve. You played and you already did. I'm ready to mob, I'm ready to mosh and move it with nobody scared. Keep pushing my buttons, I might push a button and have my butt push up and slam. Made a decision to enter the lair, you better enter prepared. I seen it vividly, my vision of victory. I kill him and split the scene, click with me. You never feel defeat, learn how to kill from heat. I showed up to show out until the show ends. Bet they wanna know how I made it a no-win. It's gon' be a blowout once I get the blow in. I just put it blow in, show me some honey.
It starts right here.
Push up yourself on enemies.
And it's a long road up ahead. Better get your steps in now. It starts right here.
Ain't no regrets, it's you and me.
And if you wanna be a god, it's a long way up. If you wanna be a god, it's a long way up.
I'm too hyped to turn down a fight. Knock on my good night. I brought light when there was no sight. None of four in sight. I got stripes down to take a life. Won't take it in stride. Ain't no might, if some maybes. I display my might. Yeah, I come to rig the game. It's fun, but it ain't no games. I shun them all in a minute. I got them and beat them up like it was state. I showed up to show out until the show ends. Bet they wanna know how I made it a no-win. It's gon' be a blowout once I get the blow in. I just put it blow in. Show me some money.
It starts right here.
Push up yourself on enemies.
And it's a long road up ahead. Better get your steps in now. It starts right here.
Ain't no regrets, it's you and me.
And if you wanna be a god, it's a long way up. If you wanna be a god, it's a long way up.
Push up and step on enemies. I came to conquer all the energy. Ain't no regrets, it's him or me. Blast them away, away. Once we engage in combat, it ain't really no comeback. From that, the squad, the angelic slum rats. Came for the cash, where the fun's at. Came with the swag of a war pack. You see the sword, it's my award. I tried to warn you and your pack, so if I started you, it's your bad.
It starts right here.
Push up yourself on enemies.
And it's a long road up ahead. Better get your steps in now. It starts right here. And if you wanna be a god, it's a long way up. If you wanna be a god, it's a long way up.
I'm absolutely livid. The warrior spirit is never broken.
All right, hello and welcome to this game. We're going to be watching AOE taking on Radiant Storm in a matchup in which we've seen Radiant Storm. They're 2-0 so far, very strong in this league, whereas we've seen AOE manage to lose. They lost their first game on a close 2-1 and picked up just an FF victory in the second one, so we're really looking to see what they can do here in this series. I'm Elsa the Queen, and I'm here with Hawk.
Yeah, it is a good day to be here in the Titan Conqueror League here in Titan Esports. Like my boy Elsa laid out, it's all about Radiant Storm so far this season. We saw them take a dominant victory over Oasis Lotus last week here on stream. They're looking to do it again over the scrappy AOE Team 1. But as we get underway here into draft, we'll get to see what exactly these teams have in mind as we move forward into this first game of the best of 3 series. All right, and with draft
All
coming
right, and we're
underway
gonna jump into
now.
the champion select here in just a moment. We're going to see the Vladimir getting banned out on the side of AOE, taking that one away from Carbonetics in the mid lane. As the first ban coming out, we saw some control mages being played by Carbonetics in their last matchup, so we'll see if he finds something else to go to on that in that kind of vein again, as we see the Volibear being taken away. We do have a sub-top laner on the side of AoE in Dominope, sorry. So maybe taking away a little bit of comfort from him, taking away the Volibear. We'll see what comes next here.
Yeah, I kind of like this strategy.
Gwen being taken off the board, and then followed up by the Xin Zhao banned out by AoE. That's going to be a ban against Skiz, their jungler. Finally, the Malzahar, so another one of those control mages taken away from Carbonetics.
Yeah, I like the strategy here from both teams coming through. You know, Radiant Storm Rampage wanting to take the substitute top laner here for AoE, sort of keep him off balance, not let him get to a comfort level that he wants to, which I think makes a lot of sense. You know, coming in, it is very hard just to walk on, playing on stream nonetheless, a lot of added pressure. So if they're able to attack that top side, it could work. But AoE Team 1, likewise, taking away the team fighting picks that we've seen them so successful on. Vladimir, so strong in team fights. Malzahar, likewise. Xin Zhao, just the best jungler, basically.
First pick coming out.
On the
first pick is going to be Ashe for AoE. So setting up some long-range engage with that Ask, with the Chanted in Crystal, Chanted arrow, and going to be followed up by Radiant Storm. Going to take the Ezreal as well as the Hecarim. So Ezreal, kind of a safe AD pick into that Ashe, able to dodge out of some of that CC she's able to provide, and then Hecarim with engage potential coming out.
Yeah, we've seen the Hecarim last week coming through. Not Ashe this time in the jungle. The player Ashe, not the champion. In the jungle this time for Radiant Storm. It will be Skiz, their new starting jungler, coming into the lineup this week, bringing out the Hecarim. Looks like he's going to go back to the similar picks. And as you said, long range engage with the Ashe.
Next, we're going to see Diego Irelia coming out from Cyclone in the mid lane. That's a strong mid lane pick that they're able to pick up. Able to provide a lot of pressure in that 1v1. Also going to be paired up most likely with that Viego. Could be flexed into the top lane or even the mid lane, but most likely we'll see that Viego into the jungle after it did see some nerfs in lane earlier. So Viego presenting a really strong 2v2 with that Aurelia. And then over on the side of Radiant Storm, we see the Nautilus picked up, so providing some CC in that 2v2 with alongside the Ezreal. Going to be a strong 2v2 lane there.
Yeah, definitely really strong.
And now into the second round of bans, we do see the Thresh and the Morgana banned out on the side of Radiant Storm. They do not want to let that Ashe pair up with something that has more CC. And we'll also see, now we're going to see the Poppy as well as the Shen taken away by AoE. So further limiting the top lane options from Capped Phil.
I really like this. Putting Cap Phil on the back foot. He was a exploitable weak point, I feel like, for Radiant Storm, if there was to say one. Not that he played badly by any stretch of the imagination, but being such a weak side focused top laner, AoE does have more comfort playing around their top laner than Radiant Storm typically showed, really heavily prioritizing their bot side, mid lane, and dragon fights in particular, saving their teleport. So if you're able to potentially put him on the back foot, especially a pick a little bit more volatile like this Wukong that loves to team fight so much, that loves to get ahead and try to take advantage of the split push, something like Mordekaiser that can really just remove him from the fight, keep him locked down, and do a lot of damage. If you're able to get ahead in that matchup, it can definitely provide a big boon. Karma going to round out the composition for AoE Team 1, a very, very strong team fighting support. I absolutely love this pick. I would have said this is what I expected to come through from AoE. You don't need the roaming support necessarily. You want to get yourself a strong 2v2 advantage. Karma, Ashe, a lot of poke coming through under the lack of sustain for the Nautilus, Ezreal, and being able to then speed up your Viego, speed up your Aurelia, make up for the lack of some of this hard engage. And then Victor, rounding out the comp, will have a difficult matchup into this Aurelia. But, you know, looking at these two compositions, lots of team fighting locked in for both teams, maybe a little bit more skirmish potential. Elsa, do you have anything else to make of these two comps before we load into the game?
We are preparing to jump into the game.
All right, and just before we load into game, we're going to be sending it to a quick break. Think we might be having a couple of technical difficulties. We'll see you guys out on Summoner's Rift. ult, slow him down. No flash should be able to take him. So AoE up 1,500 gold early. Viego going to solo the dragon so incredibly quick with that Blade of the Ruined King passive. They are exactly where they want to be.
Absolutely, and that's just we'll have to see if Rats of Chaos can make this pay off even more, as he will use that early control from his bot lane. The Karma and the Ashe providing so much lane control, so much pushing potential, allows them to have control over this bottom side river.
There it
and
is.
They will use it to pick it up, as we're going to see the all-in coming in here from the Aurelia. Going to get stunned up by the Victor.
There it
It
is.
doesn't matter, no! As Cyclone picks up another kill. And this might just be becoming a nightmare for Carbonetics on the Victor.
Yeah, it's exactly what I just talked about. The Irelia ult is almost impossible to dodge without the flash available. The slow is enough. Gravity Well doesn't matter with the CC layering. Just absolutely flawless coming through from AoE. They're taking everything on the map, and Rats isn't done.
Yeah, here's Rats of Chaos. He's going to come up here in a blind pullback from the Mordekaiser.
Hecarim's
He's
on the
gonna
way.
be able to grab the Wukong. And the stun coming out, but not going to be enough to take him down. He will be able to walk out and hold his flash, so we will get a moment to breathe here as Rats of Chaos goes back into his blue side jungle.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a force gank right there coming through from Rats. No 6 yet on the Mordekaiser. Meant that it's pretty hard to lock down Captain Phil here on this Wukong. So he's just going to use the Cyclone, get his way on out. But AoE still looking super good so far in this early game. And although Madolche and Fright Knight are down 10 CS here on the bottom side, it's an Ashe Karma. They're going to have utility no matter what in this game. So, you'll take your 1,500 gold lead in the mid lane any day of the week. And this R5 Victor, Elsa, is getting punished hard.
Yeah, and you just have to wonder, will they be able to ever get this Victor out of this lane? What is the point where it's able to be useful for this team on Radiant? And as we do see, the Gravity Well gonna be taken or put down there, so that's not gonna be available for a moment. And we see Fortress Door kind of gonna be sitting in the bush, perhaps trying to be aggressive onto Cyclone, maybe just trying to bail out his mid laner, make sure that he's not able to get jumped on by this Aurelia.
They're really committing to this.
Yeah, we could see a potential 3-man gank onto this mid lane with Skiz also sitting in the brush. No vision available from Cyclone, as he will get hooked under the
Going for the
turret. Gravity Well's going to come through. We are seeing the dive. Aurelia trying to stay alive, but she's going to get taken down. Carbonetics gets the kill, so big commitment there by the Radiant team, but they are able to pick up the kill. They will make it worth.
Yo, so much time spent off the map there from Radiant Storm, but AoE, they still didn't recognize the play. I have to wonder if they could have seen that one coming. But regardless, it is a nice dive there from Radiant Storm. They do shore up their mid lane a little bit. Cyclone is still very far ahead in that matchup. He's up about 10 CS. He has the extra 2 assists to his name, but it does at least contribute to a stabilization. I want to see a Seeker's Arm Guard come out early here from Carbonetics. It's a double AD mid jungle that you're up against, so I think it gets a lot of value, but nope, it will just be the Blasting Wand. So screw defenses, it's all damage, but once that flashes back up, it might just work out for him, as trading here on the bottom side, Lagastream out of mana shouldn't amount to too much, as Rats of Chaos just going to rotate up, use the solo lane pressure, start up his Herald.
Absolutely, and with the Herald being close to probably going to be taken down here, Cyclone coming up to assist his jungler. They'll probably be able to take that one down. We'll see where they want to drop it, as we do see some positive trading coming out here from the Mordekaiser into the Wukong. Weren't sure about this matchup, but it does seem like Dominope knows what he's doing on this pick. Was able to pick up some comfort despite some of the bans coming out early from Radiant Storm. So, like to see that from the substitute top laner.
Yeah, I mean, Dominope has been playing this matchup super well. I don't know if you just saw it in that trade, but he's been so good with these claws, where Captain Phil is jumping aggressively with the E and then Wing straight backwards, and Dominope is holding onto the claw until after Captain Phil goes invisible. So even though he is invisible, Dominope knows where he's going to be. He knows he's going to be running away, so he gets the pullback to proc his passive, maybe an extra auto as well, and it creates those positive trades that we have been seeing. So I'm really impressed with the way he's been playing this matchup, and it has resulted in a good bit of pressure for his team. But Dragon coming on the map here in 45 seconds. Rat's already walking down, but early river control is going the way of Radiant Storm with the time committed from AoE on the top side to secure the Herald.
Yep, and again, we see this 3-man stack again into the mid lane from Radiant Storm. They recognize the issue early with the Aurelia getting so far ahead, and they're now able to bail out Carbonetics a little bit, just down maybe about 1 wave in this mid lane. And you pointed out that he did skip out on the Seeker's Arm Guard, but perhaps just trying to prioritize getting some of that AP as we see another claw come down. And we're going to see a fight breaking out here with the Nautilus ult coming down. Will he be able to take down the Viego? No, but Fright Knight going to be the sacrificial lamb for his team, taken down in that red side jungle. And it's a nice little invade coming out on the side of Radiant Storm. They're going to transition this into the Dragon and stop the quick stack that was coming out for early on from AOE.
Yeah, that was just a super nice objective setup from Radiant Storm. Dare I say, almost textbook. They walk in, they set down the vision, knowing that AOE was on a reset timer after doing the Herald. AOE's forced to face check, and there's just so much hard engage between this Hecker and between this Nautilus. So they're able to find the pick there onto Fright Knight and secure themselves this Dragon. So it stops any sort of Dragon stacking win condition for AOE. It closes the gold gap slightly, but Domino needs to be careful.
Captain Phil going for this all in here, uses the first half of the Cyclone. He's going to use the other
Grass is
half,
here.
and he's going to be able to take down Domino. Nice play coming out after the TP, and now we see Rats of Chaos. He wants to take this 1v1, but now the teleport coming in from Carbonetics is going to dissuade him from doing so, and he's going to be forced off of it at the cost of the TP from Carbonetics. And we do see Cyclone going to be able to push in the mid lane in exchange, but Skiz able to cover his mid laner there and pick up some of that CS. No plates going down.
Yeah, Domino just a little greedy there under the tower, not respecting the power of the Wukong teleporting back in. Takes a turret shot as well, but Carbonetics could be under threat.
Oh, Rats of Chaos. Nice stun there coming out. And Carbonetics, he does have his flash available. Should be able to get away, but a nice flash over the wall. Going to be answered. And so, flash is exchanged between Domino and Carbonetics, but you already highlighted, Hawk, how important it is for this Victor to have his flash available, especially in the matchup against the Aurelia. Especially Aurelia having her flash still available. Will she be able to take advantage of that? We'll have to wait and see as we see Nautilus. Oh, Fortress Door, he's going to be so aggressive. He knows he has the jungler coming in.
It's Cyclone.
Stun going to come down from the arrow. And now Cyclone coming in for the teleport as well.
Cyclone, he's
going to be
huge.
able to trade one back. Is he going to be able to pick up the Nautilus as well? Blocks the hook. Coming out. Double kill
the
for
shield.
Cyclone. Will he be able to get the triple? The stun should be up in a moment. The flawless duet. Will he be able to land it as Skiz knocks him back under the
Skiz
turret?
zoom.
So much sustain from the Aurelia. And he won't be able to take him down.
Cyclone playing with fire a little bit right there, going under the turret, but it is the TP from the Aurelia that wins the day. It is a 1-for-2 there on the bottom side. AOE finding themselves a couple of kills. Cyclone getting huge on this Aurelia indeed. The ult was just so good, and it's Newton's Law of League of Legends, right? The gank attempt fails on the top side, flash for flash there on the Carbonetics. So then Hecarim on the bottom side, knowing that the Viego's not there, he goes down, tries to make the gank happen.
He's got another all in.
Yeah, Domino just gets taken down there, no ult. Didn't really expect that one to go down, and Cyclone under threat as well. Hit fails the Hex Flash.
Oh, we're gonna see another flawless duet coming down as Cyclone gonna pick up another one with a bounty on top, and he is unstoppable in this matchup. Is able to dodge out in the gravity well, but this time Fortress Door will be able to dredge line himself to safety. But wow, Cyclone, he is really making this game his own, taking over the Rift when Radiant Storm comes to prevent him from killing his laner and the Victor. He just goes down bottom, gets the kills instead. He's going to go for the dive here, but Gravity Well going to come out. It is going to
Reset.
run him up. Will he be able to survive? No, the last turret shot does take him down, so critical. Oh, as flash forward is going to be dodged out in the Mystic shot by Medolce. But wow, going to be a big shutdown picked up by the Victor, but is traded back by Cyclone on this Aurelia. And he's already got the Blade of the Rune King done. He's got some pieces of potentially Trinity Force or, oh gosh. I can't remember the other item right now, but really far ahead on this Aurelia.
Yeah, very far ahead. Maybe a little bit of an ego play right there from Cyclone. Does get the kill. It was impressive. He reset the tower aggro, walked back in, then got the heal from the Triumph. Unfortunately, was not enough to keep him alive. Does give up a big shutdown to that Victor, who now is kind of coming online. He may have 3 deaths, but he does have 2 kills, which is pretty damn good as far as Carbonetics is concerned. So definitely just something to keep your eye on as this early gold advantage has slowly been shrinking here from the side of AOE. And as the next dragon is about to come up, I'm interested to see how these two teams play around it. No teleports going to be available from anyone on this one. So if there is to be a 5v5, it will just be the good old-fashioned everybody show up and brawl. And last time around, we did see a superior objective setup from the side of Radiant Storm, but it's almost a reverse where Radiant Storm is committing to the Herald and AoE then is getting the setup here around this dragon first. However, with top tower being so low and Domino not having flash, the threat of a dive and more gold going over here for Radiant Storm is a lot higher. So far, I like this call. I need to see AoE try to press their advantage here in mid and bot, but it actually looks like Radiant Storm is just going to rotate mid.
Yeah, and we do see the triple Divine Sunderer coming out from Radiant Storm, and so the Death Realm does get dropped in the top lane. Domino trying to take a 1v1 of his own, one level down against this Wukong, getting him very low. Now we're going to go to the mid lane. There's going to be a 4v3 as Fortress Door, he's going to be the first one to go down. Will Victor be able to survive? He's able to use, able to get away. And Cyclone almost
the reset.
Rats of Chaos ends up doing it. Reset, a triple kill for Rats of Chaos. And you talked about it in the champ select and at the beginning of the game. Rats of Chaos, he's the man for his team. He's the one getting it done in this mid lane fight.
Once again, all about the mid jungle. Justice Viego and this Irelia popping off, and the Ash arrow onto Carbonetics was sublime right there from Madolce. And although Radiant Storm, they did manage to trade one back onto the support, it just wasn't enough. I would have liked to see them go up topside, threaten the dive onto this Mordekaiser with the Rift Herald. You most likely get 2 turrets traded back for probably bot turret and the dragon, but you get the extra kills, you get the extra gold from the tower. I think that is a worthy trade. Instead, they try to leverage their team fight composition, but they just don't have the gold. This Irelia and this Viego, although the overall gold is close, are just far too strong. And one of your strongest members here, Captain Phil, is marooned in the top lane island up against this Mordekaiser, who honestly is not really a part of his team's overall gold advantage. In fact, he's working against it a little bit. So, you know, it's just a mismatch in favor of AoE. They punish really well. Now, though first tower will eventually go the way here of Radiant Storm, it is a lot of additional gold going into the back of AoE's pockets as they continue to attempt to press their mid-jungle advantage. However, no towers having gone down is pretty big because it means that a lot of the split push threat, the 1-3-1 of this Irelia, of this Viego, of this Mordekaiser has not been fully unlocked yet.
Yes, absolutely, and we do see this gold lead on the side of AoE, but not too big, under 1,000 gold in the lead, so still anybody's game here, as we see the Victor pushing it out once he's got that up.
Dive on Cyclone.
Yep, looks like it. We've got 4 members over here on this site, or into the middle of the rift as Fortress Door, he's going to miss Cyclone, but he is going to end up grabbing Fright Knight. Fright Knight going to quickly go down, and now the teleport coming down here from the Domino, but he's in the middle of so many members going to bring Carbonetics into the Death Realm. Will he be able to take him down? As Cyclone, he's hopping around.
Is AoE winning this?
Door. And Domino going to be able to take down Carbonetics. Oh, and Wrath of Chaos is in it now too. He's able to take down Skiz, able to take down Captain Phil, and that's going to be 4 kills going over to the side of AoE. Just the 2 bot laners down there, not a part of the fight, kind of duking it out 1v1. Other than that, all 4 members of AoE going to be taken down, and that's a huge fight. Now we do see a little bit of a gold lead starting to balloon for AoE.
Yeah, 2,500 is that lead. AoE essentially just winning a 3v4. The setup was great there from the side of Radiant Storm. They moved in, secured vision on the enemy topside jungle, rotated down, tried to force onto this low mid turret. They pick Fright Knight at the very beginning, but this Viego is just so fed. He killed everybody. He managed to stay alive with the resets as well. What an incredible team fight. Also, huge shout out to Domino. Gets the Victor into the Death Realm. That's so much of the AoE damage taken away at the start of that fight as well. And AoE really flexing their muscles right there with the power of this Viego, of this Irelia in these skirmishes. And Dragon now coming up in 2 minutes. Baron coming up in just 15 seconds. The neutral objective fights are only going to get more tense, and it's all going to come down to execution like that. Can Rats of Chaos, can Cyclone stay alive long enough to do the damage that their team needs, or will Skiz, will Fortress Door, will Captain Phil have the dive and the CC potential to lock them down and take them out?
Absolutely, and it looks like there's just so much sustained damage on the side of AOE right now between that Viego and Aurelia. They were able to stay alive and take people down in that team fight even without the Ashe there, so their team fight just becomes all the more scary when they do have that AD carry available, and we'll have to see what will go down on these later game team fights, whether this Ezreal will also be able to be a factor as he does take over this mid lane. The Victor put into the side lane, and not exactly sure if that's what you want as the Victor, or whether or not he'll be able to stay safe against this Aurelia, or potentially even this Mordekaiser, who was able to take down Carbonetics in that last team fight.
Yeah, I would personally put my Victor in the mid lane, just E through every single wave, never let AoE have any hope of sieging this turret with their 3 melee composition. But regardless, you know, Ezreal is probably your biggest benefactor of the farm right now. He can hold the waves well in his own right, and then Victor out in the side lane can just quickly shove and then roam. So Radiant Storm electing to put their solo laners in, well, the side lanes here in this mid game, and I would imagine that both teams not going to look to fight until this dragon here in 40 seconds. The vision currently stands slightly, I would say, in favor of AoE, but with the Victor back here in mid, I would imagine the wave control and the vision control will go the way of Radiant Storm. But look at this, AoE Cyclone. He has pushed up the bottom lane there. He's rotating into the river with his team. They are first to the play, but with mid turret being low, I wonder if there's cross-map potential here for Radiant Storm Rampage, or if they'll just give this one up, say, hey, we need 2 items on our Victor. We don't have Muramana yet completed on our Ezreal. Looks like that might be the call here with Fortress Door showing top.
Absolutely, and Captain Phil, his teleport did just come up for some kind of potential fight, but as we see Skiz into the top lane area here, doesn't look like they're going to contest. Does put AoE onto the soul point here on this Cloud Rift, but not going to be the soul yet. So so as you said,
Ashe Arrow.
Oh, Ashe Arrow going to come out into the mid lane, is going to hit this Ezreal. Will he just be able to run away? Looks like he will, but he won't be able to take down the mid lane turret, crucially, as he's going to get slowed again, but does probably have that E available at this point to jump out to safety. And,
that was a really nice arrow there from Adolce, saving the turret. Like, that was awesome. That turret was dead to rights, but managing to stun up Black Extreme even though they don't find the kill. It only delays the inevitable. However, it probably buys AoE a nice reset, as well as Cyclone the time here on the bottom side. So nice play, and Dragon basically taken for free as Radiant Storm does make the call that they need more items on their
Oh, and here's Skiz. He wants to fight, popping that ghost. He is going to back off, but we got a 5-man stack here. Oh, as we do see Rats of Chaos, he's chasing down Fortress Door. Will he be able to pick up the stun? No, his Fortress Dredge line himself to safety, but he's going to flash forward. He's going to get the stun off, and another Dredge line, but it's only going to be a matter of time before Rats of Chaos going to pick up that kill, and he's legendary on the Rift today. And now we do see AoE running over towards this Baron area. Would they want to start this up with just the support down, but some recalls coming in on the other side?
AoE does this extremely fast, and they saved all their ultimates, even though they use a bunch of summoner spells. The ultimates are the key right now in this team fight. Skiz, no ghost available. He does have the Onslaught of Shadows, as well as Carbonetics, Chaos Storm. So if they're able to lock them down the pit, the AoE damage is immense. Baron already down to half HP. Captain Phil on the flank.
Yep, and they are going to back off. Skiz on the back of the pit. Could have looked for a potential steal as Rats jumps in. Going to try to look for the stun, and now we're going to see the arrow coming out. Going to get onto Skiz, who saved his ultimate to be able to jump away. And we'll see if they want to run back to this Baron after having lost some of their health. And but again, no ultimates other than the Ashe ultimate coming out, and they will start this Baron up again. They know Hecarim had to go back to the base. He doesn't have his ultimate available. Won't have it up again before this is able to go down. Doesn't have the flash on Hecarim. And looks like they're going to be able to take down this Baron.
As well. Yeah, Mordekaiser also to remove the Hecarim from the fight. They're gonna probably turn on to Captain Phil. Look for the Wukong. He's in. AoE split.
He's gonna go invisible. Cyclone gonna come out. Rapsy is gonna be able to pick up this Baron. But Dolce is able to take down Forest Door, and here's Cyclone on the other side of the fight, able to take down Carbonetics. Ashe picking up the double kill on Captain Phil. Double kill coming out for Cyclone as well. And AoE gonna pick up everything that fight. 5-0. They get the Baron. They get it all.
What a team fight. AoE looked just a little bit disorganized, but it meant that the AoE layering couldn't come through there from the side of Radiant Storm. They didn't let this Victor and the Wukong just have their way with 5-man ults, and then Cyclone on the backside hits the ultimate on both carries here for the side of Radiant Storm. Goes in, takes them both down. It's the Baron as well for AOE. It's going to be an inhibitor. And this game number 1 is looking like it's all AOE. We said that we're looking at this match to kind of show us how good is AOE actually, because we haven't really gotten a taste of them too much so far this season. And in this game number 1, Elsa, I've got to say, they're looking pretty damn good.
They are really dominant, especially in these points that you highlighted coming into the game that we thought that they would do well with this mid-jungle duo. We've talked about it quite a bit throughout this stream, but they're just really showing their strength. Rats of Chaos, he's the raid boss, man. He hasn't died yet, has that huge 700 gold bounty, and I don't know if they're going to be, if Radiant is even going to be able to take him down this game.
Yeah, I mean, this Viego is so tanky and does so much damage. 3 items completed. Sterix, Blade of the Ruin King, Divine Thunder. That is so much healing, and the Sterix shield on top. And look at Cyclone as well. He's got the exact same build. It's just, there's so much damage coming at you right now. So much survivability on the side of AoE. This mid-game skirmish composition, basically across the board, has 2-3 items completed. This is their strongest point in the entire game. They've got Soul Dragon coming up now. They've already broken open the enemy base, and although the side lane, they have the Baron to get these turrets, although they haven't been taken down yet. So AoE now with 7,500 gold in the lead, you'd have to think this dragon is almost a formality, barring a wombo combo coming through here from the side of Radiant Storm Rampage. And these 1v1s that Captain Phil was winning earlier, not going his way now.
Yep, as the Death Realm gonna come down. Probably just one more Q for Domino. He's gonna wallop him, as we do see a fight coming out on this blue side, as Skiz is gonna have to use his ultimate to get to safety. Rats of Chaos going a little low, but he's gonna go into the mist and keep himself safe as the Victor ult is dropped.
Ooh, that was a big
And we
Ezreal
do see
ult.
the True Shot Barrage is gonna get a lot of value.
Cyclone's full
And-
HP.
Yep, Cyclone's full HP. Here he is. He's looking for a fight onto Fortress Door, who locked him down with the Dredge line, but ultimately not going to be able to take him down. As Domino with another claw over the wall. He's been on point with those this game. And meanwhile, Cloud Soul going to be picked up on the side of AoE. And that's just going to add insult to injury, as that move speed going to help him to get into these fights with these melee champions, have a lot more engage potential, which we thought might have been missing from their comp. Kind of aids in that a little bit, and this is just looking like all AoE, as you said, in game 1.
Yeah, do you think if a Domino was to start a band, it would be called Claw Over the Wall? Because I've got to say, the claws have been disgusting this game from this Mordekaiser. I feel like he's hit every single one in this game. Even in lane, even when he was losing, we talked about his trading pattern and the way that he was pulling off, you know, some favorable trades for himself. And AoE now going to leverage their gold lead. They're going to take down both turrets up here on the top side. It's now a 10,000 gold lead. I feel like just a minute ago, I said 7.5 as Cyclone wants it.
Oh,
Not
Flawless
gonna go
Duet will land, but not going to go in. And we just do see the pressure that Cyclone is able to exert here in the side lane. We mentioned how we didn't know how the Victor would kind of fare down here in a side lane, and frankly, AoE just having kind of the stronger side lane, solo lane, 1v1 picks here with these really strong melee champions, and it's paying off for them as this game progresses.
Yeah, this is not a composition that you want to fall behind against. I mean, everybody can 1v1 you on this comp, and when your whole team identity is based around 5v5ing, if you can't even win those, you really struggle in this game. And although, you know, without Baron buff, Victor, Ezreal are very good at slowing down games. It doesn't matter if you're dead.
Oh, and here's the stun by Rats of Chaos.
Nice
As the arrow follows it up. Rats of Chaos, he's going to go legendary again, able to take down Carbonetics. He's going to get
Rat's
exhausted, but not going to be able to take down yet. But here's the Cyclone coming in from the Wukong. They're going to be able to take down Fright Knight. Will they get any more? But Cyclone is here. He's going to be able to get the Flawless Duet to shut it down. Here's his ultimate. He picks up one. He picks up another one. Madolce going to be the one to finish it off. And now Ezreal kind of in no man's land here under the turret. He's not long for this world, as Rats of Chaos able to pick up the stun. He's going to have the
still alive.
It doesn't matter. Gonna pop the stopwatch to stay alive. And this has got to be at least 2 inhibitors going down on the side of Radiant.
Rats of Chaos, I thought that would be the fight where Radiant Storm Rampage finally took him down, but nope, he just stays alive, gets the resets. He's half HP now, stopwatch to boot to drop the tower aggro. And once again, I feel like whichever one gets chunked out, whether it's Rats of Chaos or Cyclone, it doesn't matter because the other one's just going to carry the team fight. Alone, one of them is hard to kill, but together, it's just impossible. I said I would flame Rats of Chaos if he died, and he is 907. He hasn't even died yet. This guy's popping off. AOE's popping off. Radiant Storm Rampage is on the ropes for the first time this season.
Absolutely, AOE Cyclone. They're going to catch some recalls, possibly go over to that Baron, and then look to end the game, as they do have 2 inhibitors down, one in the top lane and one in the mid lane, and it looks like they will run over towards that Baron area. And
True Shock Rush to check it.
Yep, and so that's going to be used early, and it's going to be really difficult for Radiant Storm to be able to do anything to contest this, short of perhaps Skiz going over the wall with his ultimate to try for a steal, but even then, looking pretty scary.
Yeah, definitely looking scary. Radiant Storm, they do have decent champions to face check this. Skiz has done a pretty good job this game. Oh, hang on.
Oh, as we do see Rats of Chaos, he wants to fight. He doesn't even want to get the Baron first. They just want to look to end, as we are going to see Madolche going to be able to pick up the kill, but they will back off towards this Baron, and with Fortress Door going down, that's a lot of the vision potential for Radiant Storm. And Baron going to be started up.
Zone too. Yeah, they have Mordekaiser in the zone. It's just impossible. I was just about to say, Skiz has done a good job trying to buy space for his team in a lot of these team fights. I feel like he's piloted this Hecarim relatively well, especially after that level 3 blunder that cost this team a lot in the early game. But the Nautilus doesn't have such escape tools, gets taken down. It's Baron for AoE. It's a massive, massive 13,000 gold lead almost. And you'd have to think with 2 inhibs down, the other one, they don't even need it. They're just going to walk it down. 5v5. Dive might be a little risky, but they are very far ahead here.
Yeah, and with the 2 inhibs already down, it looks like they're just going to wait to shepherd some of these minion waves in and just kind of overwhelm Radiant Storm until they can't defend anymore, as the Ghost is, or I thought that was the Ghost pocked by Skiz, perhaps not, but not able to, not sure how they're going to go about this. Again, we talked about how these melee champions so hard when they're able to get in range, so engaging on AoE Cyclone is also a super dangerous prospect. And as we mentioned, these minions coming into the base, they're flooding it out, and with them being baroned up, going to be very difficult to take them all down.
Yeah, a pretty good job. Again, this Victor's wave clear cannot be understated, even against the Baron minions. When they're all grouped up like that, it just does so much work. Fortress Door, though, stepping too far forward.
Oh, Rats of Chaos, he's going to pick up the stun. Cyclone going to get grabbed by the Nautilus, but Nautilus going to go down. Now we do see Madolche. He's on the back line, still able to just put out this damage. Captain Phil going down, and there's Dominope able to take down Skiz. Will he be able to take down Carbonetics as well? He will. Another claw, and that's probably going to be the game here. Rats of Chaos, he still hasn't gone down, as Cyclone looking for some BM here. He's going to land the ult onto the Ezreal. Will he be able to pick up the kill? Not quite. Oh, almost jumping into the fountain, but it doesn't matter. That's going to be the game, and AOE going to be able to take down the first game.
AOE taking down the undefeated Radiant Storm Rampage, and what I've got to say also was a pretty dominant showing, although it was pretty close for the better part of the early game. I feel like where it all broke open was that teleport flank here from Cyclone in the bottom side. He gets down there, gets a double kill, and although the gold continued to remain close, I feel like by that point, an Irelia with 3 kills was just unstoppable.
Absolutely, and a Cyclone, he was able to pick up even some advantages, as we saw in that mid lane early on for AoE. After that, able to pick up that teleport, and Rats of Chaos as well, just absolutely unstoppable this game, just looked unkillable. He always looked a step ahead of the other team, always looked like, even though, as you pointed out, Skiz, he had a pretty good game, not too much to criticize, but Rats of Chaos just seemed to have his number this time.
Yeah, I definitely will say that early gank in the mid lane was such a massive blunder that came through from Skiz. And yes, he did rectify it extremely well, but you cannot take that fight ever in a 2v2. Hecarim Victor's always going to lose to that Irelia Viego. They get punished hard for that play. And again, did a great job stabilizing. But look at these damage numbers, Elsa. Everyone in AoE was within like 1,000 damage from each other. That is how much this team, all four of their carry threats were participating in these fights equally and having a share of that damage, having a share of, this game. So really good team effort coming through from this team, I'd have to say. And for Radiant Storm, I feel like they just got exposed a little bit for their only 5v5 style.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, kind of surprising we didn't talk about Madolche on this Ashe very much, but I feel like because of the fact that Radiant Storm had to spend so much time trying to deal with Rats of Chaos and Cyclone jumping in, he was able to sit on this backline and just kind of free hit in all the team fights.
Yeah, and he had some nice arrows too. I talked about the cheeky arrow in the mid lane that temporarily saved the turret. The arrow, another arrow in mid lane against Victor. He was always pulling the trigger on that one. That's the thing with Asholt. You just got to be willing to throw that one out and hope a play happens. Worst case scenario, you'll lose a 90-second cooldown. It doesn't really matter. So great game from Madolche. Great game from AOE Team 1 as a whole. We'll see if Radiant Storm Rampage can bounce back 4 games to end 3 to preserve their perfect record here so far in Titan Esports Conqueror League.
The battle's coming now. The fury shakes the ground. I've come to take my crown. I'm rising up, my heart is pounding, ready or not, the clock is counting. This is my moment. This is my moment. This is my moment. Whoa, I was born for greatness. Oh, a legend in the making, deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. Whoa, come on, try and take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. You know I'm out for blood. I'm feeling dangerous. I just can't get enough. I'm rising up, my heart is pounding, ready or not, the clock is counting down. This is my moment. This is my moment. This is my moment. Whoa, I was born for greatness. Whoa, legend in the making, deep in my bones. I know I am the champion. Whoa, come on, try to take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. I am the champion. I know where I'm going. I have been chosen.
All right, here we are for Radiant Storm. Going to be going against AOE. AOE was able to have a really strong game one coming out. We'll see if they'll be able to make it happen again here in game two.
Yeah, I want to emphasize AOE, again, had a really strong game one, taking down the undefeated Radiant Storm Rampage, who didn't really play a bad game, but still were handed a pretty solid loss rate there. So I'm really excited to see what happens here in game number 2 as draft is just about to get underway here. What adaptations, Elsa, are you looking to see sort of come through from Radiant Storm to mix up their game plan potentially here in game number 2?
Well, Carbonetics in this mid lane was just not set up for success. We criticized the Victor matchup into the Aurelia right from the outset, and we saw it play out kind of how we thought it was, just being punished over and over again by Rats of Chaos, and just in the 1v1 by Cyclone. So we'll have to see if they're able to get rid of some of those stronger mid lane picks for Cyclone, or set Carbonetics up on something that he can kind of succeed on early on, not get just kind of dumpstered like he was in the first game.
Yeah, and we immediately see, look at that, Viego being taken off, instantly not letting Rats of Chaos go 9-0 against them again, and Aurelia coming through as well. They're immediately taking away that insane mid-jungle 2v2 that we saw. So, yeah, and I agree. I feel like Carbonetics on a Victor just kind of got ran over. You can't R5 Victor into that sort of comp. It was exposed hard by AOE Team 1, so definitely agree. If you're going to innovate here from Radiant Storm, that's the first place to start.
And it's good to see, it's good for Radiant Storm to identify their weaknesses, take that Viego and Aurelia off the board, but it also displays a little bit of a weakness in that they just don't really know what to do, it seems like, into those picks. Rather than being able to save their bans for some other power picks, they're just kind of forced to directly to respond to what AOE did in game one. So kind of a mixed bag coming out from the bans by Radiant Storm. And we'll just have to see what they have in the bag. If they have some other kind of game plan, Ooh. As they do take the Diana first, they're going to identify a strong jungler for Skiz.
Yeah, first pick Diana. That's interesting to see come through. Xin Zhao still on the table. Could definitely see that one. Yep, there it is for AOE Team 1 coming through. But it does sort of play into the more team fight focused style that you might expect from Radiant Storm Rampage, as opposed to more of a duelist jungler in the sense of Xin Zhao. Also very early game focused as Cho'Gath Blind. I like that pick coming through, but to go back to game number 1 again, I actually was talking to AOE Team 1's coach, Scuffy, shout out, in between this game, and he did say that AOE basically got all their best champions in game number 1. They were extremely comfortable with what they were playing and felt really confident going into that game with their champions and executing upon it. So I feel like taking away some of that comfort did Radiant Storm this time could potentially throw a bit of a wrench in the works, as Aatrox Nautilus going to be the response.
Yeah, and this Aatrox could go to the mid lane, could go to the top lane. We'll have to see. It does provide a little bit of flex potential for Radiant Storm, so I like that coming out, kind of keeping AoE guessing. We have seen Carbonetics on a little bit more of the control mages, as you pointed out in game 1, but possibly able to switch it up here in game 2. They also liked Fortress Door on the Nautilus in game 1, thought that wasn't the problem, and AoE going to answer it with the Karma as we get into the second round of bans.
Yeah, I would definitely say I'm not. The Aatrox is interesting to me because I'm not convinced on that matchup into the Cho'Gath. Obviously, you will have like a lot of lane pressure. It is still a Cho'Gath, but Cho'Gath does have decent sustain and the ability to just one-shot you when you get to low HP, making an all-in fight a little bit scary. However, lots of CC, lots of chase down potential against the immobility of this Cho'Gath could be a big boon, especially if Skiz is to come up to the top side. But that's 4 ADC, 3 and a Nakali coming through from Radiant Storm and Team 1 here in the second round. I would expect AoE Team 1 to pick their ADC up right here. What would you go for, Elsa, looking towards it? Well, maybe the question was answered for you.
There's the Xayah, and we know the Xayah is so good into kind of that Nautilus pick at level 6, able to use her ultimate to dodge out on his. So that provides a little bit of an advantage. Also going to have the Karma there to provide a little bit more shielding and safety because she is one of those immobile ADs. And with AoE able to have the first pick on ADs between the two of the teams, we'll see Jhin being picked up by Radiant Storm, kind of just scratching wrapping up what's left, and they're going to finish out their composition with a set. One, again, could be flex between the mid or top lane, and we're not going to see Carbonetics on another control mage, as Cassiopeia going to be taken as the last pick for AOE. That's going to be in the mid lane for Cyclone, so definitely a different look from the AOE mid laner going into game 2.
Yeah, definitely. That was not what I was expecting. I do really like this set, even though it was blind and it does open up sort of counterpick of the likes of Cassiopeia. It kind of denied the all-in melee carry that Cyclone may have wanted to go to. He's generally very good at those kind of champions. So, I like how it at least denies a lot of comfort there from Cyclone potentially. Cassiopeia not really been in the meta for a while. However, I do think it does have pretty good value up against the composition that Radiant Storm Rampage is locked in, which is not what we're used to seeing so far from them.
Absolutely, and it is still, we do still have some team fight potential, but not kind of the traditionalist comp that we saw in game 1. And one thing that looking at this that I kind of question a little bit is, will Radiant Storm kind of have the damage to cut through this Cho'Gath pick? They have the Jhin, not kind of that DPS 80 carry that you would traditionally want against a big tank like that, and that could become a problem as we progress into the later game.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of team fight sustained damage locked in here for AoE, and I feel like still a one-shot composition for Radiant Storm Rampage. So definitely something to keep your eyes on, as you sort of just highlighted there. But AoE, can they take the second game off of Radiant Storm Rampage? You'd have to think a 2-0 victory here would be monumental for the side AoE to pick up their second win of the season, and quite an upset, if you ask me.
Yeah, and we thought of Radiant Storm as definitely one of the strongest teams in the league coming into this game. We saw them last week as well, coming out very strong, and it would be a big deal for AoE to be able to take them down.
Yeah, really big deal. But as we load up here onto the Rift, it's Radiant Storm Rampage on the blue side, AoE team 1 on the red. We highlighted everything in draft. I feel like we're feeling pretty confident as we head on into this game. The stakes are set. It's Titan Esports week number 3, and a 5-point start seems like it's on the menu for both teams once again.
Yep, and once again, neither team looking to do any kind of fancy invading or anything like that, both just kind of defending their jungles, and we will see. Last time we did see kind of it ended up being 2 ships passing in the night in that top lane between the junglers, but we did see both of them pathing towards that top side. We'll see if they choose to do that again, as both teams setting down some, well, especially Radiant Storm setting down some vision there on that blue buff, so they will have some information as to where Wraths of Chaos starts, and we will see him recall and running up towards his red buff, so perhaps choosing to start over on that side, as Skiz probably looking to start on his blue buff, so kind of a mirrored situation from what we saw in game 1.
Yeah, I really like the start here from Wraths of Chaos. At first, he walked into the river, put down his warding trinket, backed, and got a sweeper. That tells me that he might want to get aggressive here in the early game, which is something that you want to be doing on this Xin Zhao. He's going to be able to deny some early vision. That's something, if you're in your solo queue games and any of your competitive games, if you start doing that, that's something that can be very strong. And is Madolche going to get hooked up here? We're going to see
the early dredge line coming out from Fortress Door, and some nice poke coming out at level 1 from this Jhin and Nautilus. Thankfully, the Karma does have that Guardian picked up, so is able to provide a little bit of shielding and some damage control, but a nice start for the bot lane of Radiant Storm.
Yeah, quite a bit of wave control being secured right there from the side as another hook. Probably gonna be fine.
These dread lines are on point as we see some more trading, and wonder if these bot lanes will be low. Could set up for kind of a spicy level 3 here with the junglers pathing down towards this bot side.
Yeah, I'm really liking the early aggression. The level 1 here from the Karma Xayah is also extremely weak. Xayah really needing to hit that level 2 to have any major 2v2 threat. So taking control of the lane, it does give Rats the information that Skiz starting on the top side, but that he's a good jungler. He probably knew that anyway, as Damien Durst actually looking pretty good on this top side here, but I want to go back to that early pathing a little bit, the point I was making about Wraths of Chaos. He goes, gets the sweeper, and then starts up on his red buff. He wants to path away from this Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is a Cho'Gath. He's going to sit here, be a weak side top laner, and be a big old meatball in these team fights. He doesn't need to help him out in this lane. He wants to get down to the bottom side And now that he's mirrored pathing with Skids, he wins this 1v1 as well. So good early pathing here from Rats of Chaos. I like what he's doing. We'll have to see if he's able to leverage it into any sort of advantage.
Yep, and both junglers going for pretty much a full clear here, although we do see the Diana being one camp ahead, which is impressive to see on this strong early game jungler. And now we do see Radiant Storm. Their bot lane is a little bit more extended. Here comes Rats of Chaos. He wants to make a gank.
Gonna be a 3v3. Yeah, 3v3. Look for any TPs.
Yep.
Fortress.
Diana coming in as well. Here is the Xin Zhao going to go down for the first blood. So Rats of Chaos, they couldn't take him down in the last game, but he goes down very early on. First blood coming out for Radiant Storm.
Yeah, there it is. Skiz this time around gets the counter gank. Susses out the pathing perfectly. He's going to be able to take the crab as well, and with the faster clearing speed of the Diana, that means it's a massive jungle advantage for Door.
Yep, he got the face breaker in there. He's chasing down Cyclone, but here's Rats of Chaos. He wants to turn it around. Will he be able to do so? Doesn't look like it. Is able to dissuade the aggression from Carbonetics as some fighting in this top lane as well. Big damage coming out from the Aatrox, but as we saw in this first gank, definitely a much stronger start here from Radiant Storm and from Carbonetics as well, finally set up in a position to actually take this 1v1 matchup against Cyclone.
Yeah, really nice proactive look so far here from Radiant Storm, and with the roam up to the mid lane, not only do they chunk out Cyclone, get some wave control there for Carbonetics, but it also guarantees a Scuttle Crab. It sets up a potential dive. Rats of Chaos is so far behind. Damien Durst.
Here we go, looking for this dive. Damien, he has his flash available, able to use it. Here's Cyclone, he's here on the teleport. He's got this poison on.
So missed.
Knocking down this Aatrox. Look like he will be able to pick up the kill as we do see another teleport coming out from Carbonetics. Fortress Door is up here too, able to get the hook. Skiz able to take down Cyclone, and Rats of Chaos goes down again. So 2 deaths already for Rats of Chaos. Not the start that you want on this Xin Zhao. Meanwhile, Diana coming out with 2 early kills. Going to be able to snowball herself to that point that she wants to be.
Oh man, Fortress Door on this Nautilus, getting so much value off that roam. He gets pressure for his mid laner. Then he gets double crab for his jungler. Then they come up to the top side, and I will say the dive was just a little bit forced. Teleport comes through from Cyclone, and they trade back the first kill, but they disrespect the threat of the counter TP. Carbonetics, he comes back, TP's in himself. Captain Phil doing a lot of damage. Skiz is buying time for himself as well, and they trade 2 kills for 1 there on the top side. Last game, it was AOE with the 1,500 gold at this point. This time around, it is the side of Radiant Storm. Rampage bouncing back already so far here in game number 2, and I feel like most importantly, Rats of Chaos is very out of the game right now. He's only got 6 camps farmed to his name, 0-2-1 on the Xin Zhao. Jungle matchup not going remotely the way it did last time around.
Yep, and now we see another gank onto Cyclone in the mid lane. The dredge line's gonna land.
Flash that.
And Carbonetics gonna pick up another kill. So talk about turning around this mid lane matchup. He's got to feel a lot more confident with this early start coming out.
Fortress Door is having a huge game on this Nautilus. Just unrelenting pressure. Hex flash in, dredge line going out. Cyclone, you gotta blow the flash there, man. Gets taken down as not Madolche, excuse me, Rats of Chaos. Going to back in the bush, not get spotted out, but that's a free dragon. Skiz is almost an entire level ahead on his opposite number. Scratch that, he is an entire level ahead. He is 1 camp off of level 6. Rats of Chaos only 1 camp off of level 5. And you know, with how much roaming that Fortress Door's been doing, you would think that lag extreme would be pretty far behind, right, Elsa? But let's look at those CS numbers, shall we?
Just about even here in the bottom lane. So using this Jhin, he does have that range advantage, and the Karma brings some poke to the lane, but not able to bring that kind of all-in aggression that something like a Nautilus is able to. So Jhin, lag extreme, kind of lucky to pick up a lot of this CS, and gotta say that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely impressive, and I feel like it sort of speaks to the Xayah and the Karma. Although it's a very strong 2v2 in terms of push potential, it's not something that's going to all in a Jhin, but Rats make an appearance on the top side.
Yep, he wants to make things happen after these early deaths, and not sure where Captain Phil is going. He is going to get jumped on by Rats of Chaos and the Jin Zhao, and the Cho'Gath is able to eat him up. Damian Durst is going to pick up his first kill of the game. So Rats, despite the early disadvantage, is able to keep his wits about him, but he's going to get found out by Skiz. He's going to have to flash. Nice flash over the wall to get himself to safety, but just kind of Skiz kind of flexing his power here is able to show that when he's ahead on this Diana, it's kind of his rift as he picks up yet another Scuttle Crab on this top side.
Yeah, and it means that Rift Herald should be secure as well, as Fortress Door already making the move up towards his mid lane. Rats of Chaos is pretty low, still not level 6. I almost wonder if Captain Phil resigned himself to death a little too early right there. You know, Rats of Chaos was not going to do a whole lot of damage there. Regardless, it was a good gank. Does get taken down. No flash available. Rats of Chaos could flash over the wall to keep himself alive. But it is that Herald being started up by Skiz. It should go over uncontested. So the gold lead is only going to continue to grow here as Cyclone.
Oh, and a little bit of a lane swap coming out here with the Aatrox being mid, and Captain Phil is going to make it work. Picks up the solo kill onto Cyclone, who, similar to his teammate Rats of Chaos, is not having the game he had in game 1, as Dresdron is just going to go wide for Fortress Door. And just the mid jungle duo, it was so good on the side of AOE in game 1, but on game 2, Skiz and Carbonetics making a case for their own strength in that area.
Yeah, I mean, Radiant Storm, I feel like they've just adapted their game plan so well. They've been a lot more calculated in setting up their plays, and activating Fortress Door to help their team out around the map has been the X factor so far in this one. I mean, I just looked to my left in Fortress Door. I see him. He's standing right there in my basement. So that's how much this guy's been everywhere. But yeah, and it's meant that Radiant Storm, they have a 2,000 gold lead here at 9.5 minutes.
Absolutely, as we see Fortress Door, he seems like he's hitting almost all these dreadlines, but now he's going to be able to be in a little bit of trouble, but maybe not. He's got Skiz onto the back line. Skiz is able to use the stopwatch to stay alive. They're going to be able to take out Rats of Chaos, and now they're going to have Madolche in a bad position. Will he be able to pick up the kill on Jin? No, he will not. Skiz picking up another kill. One going over to Lag Extreme as well, and it is all going over to the side of Radiant Storm in this one.
Man, AOE, I mean, that's a tough 3v3 to take when you're down by that much. Madolche tries to go for the big play and comes up empty on the Blade Caller, gets taken down, flash blown as well. And it's gone from bad to worse for AOE. You'd have to think that this game is firmly going the way of Radiant Storm Rampage, barring a miracle coming through. This Xin Zhao sitting at 0-3. Not, very much gold to his name at all. He is 1,500 gold down on his opposite number. Definitely not the game he had last time around. But Elsa, if we wanted a series, it's looking like a series so far.
Absolutely, nobody likes a blowout, and so it's fun to see Radiant Storm coming back here in game 2. They switched up their team comp. We knew that they needed to adapt. We asked for a little bit of adaptation in this mid lane, and we got it.
Yeah, and adaptation definitely been the name of the game. And, one of the 2 kills for AoE, it's worth noting, too. On that Cho'Gath, I said that Rats of Chaos doesn't really want to go top because it's weak side Cho, and obviously getting the kill up there is good, but definitely, not the likes of a 3-0-3 Diana in terms of value. So AoE, just even when they're making good plays, struggling to come out as ahead as they want to be. Ocean Dragon in 13 seconds. You'd have to think to go over uncontested the way of Radiant Storm as
Curtain Call going to be down here for the Jin. Not sure if he'll be able to pick up the kill. Is going to hit that shot, but instead Skiz going to jump onto that dragon, going to try to start that stack, going to take down this Ocean Dragon here. He's got Carbonetics to help him, some zoning coming out from Fortress Door, and I can't help but think that one of the biggest advantages that they've been able to pick up in this game is having Fortress Door almost as kind of a second jungler from early on in the game. You pointed out his roams into the mid lane, into the top lane, and that's been huge for Radiant Storm as we see that Xayah ult coming out. We kind of highlighted that, but you won't have it for the ultimate from Nautilus, and Fortress Door going to pick up another kill as the Rift Herald dropped here in the bot lane. Now we see Rats of Chaos. He's going to use the Scuttle. That was sweet in order to dodge out and not able to pick up the kill. It looks like Captain Phil going to be able to get under his turret And the Rift Herald will get another charge, and that's going to be 2 turrets in the bot lane coming from Radiant Storm.
Yeah, no feast available means that the force on the top side just not able to come through. Rats of Chaos, he's just so far behind. He knows that he can't help his bot lane. And, you know, we've talked so much about Fortress Door on this Nautilus being everywhere. But, again, Lag Extreme is winning in the ADC matchup despite not really having a support for most of the game. And we just saw Fortress Door chasing down Madolche under his tier 2. They take down 2 turrets as well. 6,500 gold lead at just 13 minutes. It is 500 gold per minute so far here for the side of Radiant Storm, as Cyclone might fancy himself a solo bolo in the mid lane, but with the Deadly Flourish coming through, he knows to back away.
Yeah, and even extra impressive from Lag Extreme, he was kind of forced onto this Jhin almost with so many AD carry bans we pointed out in this champion select. So kind of takes what he's given and able to come up with advantages anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all Radiant Storm firing on all cylinders. Poor Damien.
He's up there again, gonna grab the hook onto Damien Durst. Will they be able to take him down? He is able to get the nice knock up to prevent the aggression, so do have to give it to Damien Durst there.
Oh, he's still gonna die, isn't he?
They're gonna go for the dive here. Nautilus gonna tank it at first. Yep, and Skiz
so much damage.
Able to jump in, and even with that feast available, no one even gonna get close to low enough as Rats of Chaos. He does want to stop this turret from going down. Got a nice knock-up. 1 turret shot coming through. Now they're gonna turn it back on the side of Radiant Storm, but not able to pick anyone up, as Lag Extreme just gonna pick up a solo kill on Cyclone in the mid lane, and I don't think that's supposed to happen, as now they're gonna come for the dive again with the ultimate coming out from the Nautilus, and the Aatrox is gonna be able to pick up 1, and look at Fright Knight down there, stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's gonna end up going down, and Skiz is unstoppable on this Diana pick.
Not only did Lag Extreme pick up a solo kill in the enemy mid laner, it was not close. Just kind of crit Cyclone in the face right there, took him down. 3 more kills on the top side as well. Just like squashing a bug, really killing this Cho'Gath at this point. He is not tanky nor powerful, and just they kill him, they kill his turret, they get 2 more kills, on this Diana. Skiz is having a game. It's been the battle of the junglers so far in this series, and this round, it's all Skiz on this Diana. And I feel like at this point, if you're AOE, you're already looking towards game number 3. You said, all right, we can beat these guys. We beat them in game number 1, but we're getting destroyed right now. I feel like there's nothing really to take away from this game. It's just, you mental reset, you move forward to game number 3, you play to your team's strengths, and you figure out, hey, Radiant Storm, they adapted and they got us this time. How do we now move forward and adapt to beat them?
Yeah, absolutely, and I gotta say, really impressed. We really didn't know what would come out, as Fortress Door gonna grab another hook onto Cyclone. Is gonna be able to use his ultimate. Nice job to stun him up. He's gonna be able to flash out, but on that Cassiopeia, very vulnerable without his flash. Fortress Door it's gonna be a big target on Cyclone's head for another one of those Dread Lines or Nautilus ultimates.
Yeah, definitely going to be a big target, and especially, no Petrifying Gaze as well. AoE across the board, very far behind in items. Medjai's in the back pocket of Skiz. Only 9 stacks so far, picked it up a little late, but I would be pretty sure that he's going to stack that one up very quickly so far on this one. Herald just going to be summoned up here top lane. Damien, I think, is just going to die.
He was waiting in the bush trying to catch somebody out, but he gets caught out by Carbonetics instead. The Haymaker going to take him down, and now we have Radiant Storm, 4 members strong, pushing here in this top lane, and Fright Knight, where are you going? He's gonna get taken out. Double kill from the Aatrox. Huge AoE damage coming out from the Diana's. Rats of Chaos gonna be caught out under this turret as well. Probably just a matter of time until he gets taken down, but no, he will be able to run it out. And
he's out.
Now they're waiting for the minion wave here from Radiant Storm, but too many turret shots taken by their members, and they will have to run out. But a nice Rift Herald, been 2 great Rift Herald drops here from Skiz in this game, really making use of that objective.
It's a rough game when the win for your team is your jungler not getting killed under your tier 3 turret after 3 of his teammates have already died. And it's only 17 minutes, mind you, so yeah, tough one from AoE. They get taken down. Radiant Storm just rolling over this one. I don't think there's anything more to be said. TP gonna come out somewhere into the bot lane there from Captain Phil. Probably gonna take down this dragon to get to Soul Point.
Yep, 3 stacks coming out. I don't even know if they're going to be able to make it to the Soul at this point, given the gold lead at about 11.4k coming out from Radiant Storm. Very impressive, as they're just kind of dominating this game. But either way, they do get to Soul Point, and they will have that in their back pocket should AOE be able to pick up any advantages. But I don't know, Hawk. It's going to be pretty difficult.
Definitely gonna be a difficult road. I would say nigh impossible. Being down this much gold, they're down more than 500 gold per minute, and 500 gold per minute is usually the benchmark of a stomp.
Oh, and here's Rats of Chaos getting caught out in the jungle.
Is this the Q? It doesn't matter.
Yep, he's gonna be taken down again. And it's been all Skiz. Like you said, it's kind of been the story of junglers. Skiz in the last game, we pointed out he had that big mistake in the mid lane, but then he was able to come back a little bit. Unfortunately, just wasn't enough in game 1. But here in game 2, he's put on the stronger jungle pick on this Diana. A lot more agency and a lot more AoE damage, and he's been really impressive taking advantage of that, as Radiant Storm going to siege onto this mid lane turret.
Yeah, and look at that damage just coming through. The Jhin W as well. The Diana Cube taking Madolche down to half HP.
Oh, and here's Skiz. He wants to go all the way in, as Jamie and Durst going to get very low, but he's going to be able to flash out to escape. Here's Rats coming in. Lag Extreme going to be able to pick him up with the last shot of that curtain call. And this game is all but over, as we see Skiz jumping all the way under the Nexus turrets. And we're going to see a mid lane inhibitor go down. We'll see if Radiant Storm can pick up anything else.
Whoa, yeah, that's all Radiant Storm. The Storm rolling into the AoE base. Thunder, lightning, and all. And they are going to fall. That rhymed, as they're going to push up the bot lane as well. Probably take a second inhibitor. Still only 20 minutes into the game. Still rolling through this game. Radiant Storm just looking so good. We were questioning whether or not they'd be able to bounce back. They have. Rats of Chaos, he wants it.
Yeah, and I was going to say that they could retreat right onto the Baron, but Baron not even up yet. Oh, still 10 seconds until that objective spawns. And that just goes to show how quickly Radiant Storm has been able to take these advantages and snowball them as the game has gone on.
Yeah, if we look at the gold and the time of the game, Radiant Storm Rampage has over 2,000 gold per minute. Just let that sink in. Over 2,000 gold per minute across all their members. That is absurd. They are so far ahead here in this game. I feel like we're just talking about a million different ways that this team is so far ahead, and I think they'd all be correct, as Rats of Chaos going to use the W there to check Baron. Hook going to go wide, but AoE, they're so far on the back foot. Baron just going to be started up, and you'd have to think it's basically formalities. Carbonetics just going to zone away the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, now they are going to jump in. They'd rather just take this team fight. Skiz goes godlike, killing Rats of Chaos, and now we're going to see Carbonetics waiting for that Facebreaker cooldown. Not going to quite get it, as Fright Knight is going to be able to get away, but now he flashes over the wall. Going to be able to pick up Cyclone with it. Big knockup by the Cho'Gath, but now here's Fortune Store. He's in it. Going to be able trying to pick up this Xayah. Going to root her down. Curtain Call going to be able to finish her off, or rather the Diana, and it looks like we're going to be going to a Game 3.
Yeah, Game 3 almost certainly on the menu there, as, man, Radiant Storm Rampage just looked amazing here in game number 2.
Yep, they're going to be taking down these Nexus turrets. I don't think that AoE can do anything to stop them. And I gotta say, such impressive mental as Fortress Store sacrifices himself to the fountain. Such impressive mental fortitude here, coming out from Radiant Storm, picking up game 2, and sending this series to the full 3 games.
Yeah, and Radiant Storm, they adapted. They did exactly what we wanted. We were talking about in between games, is Radiant Storm a one-trick pony? We've seen them play these 5v5 team fight compositions in every single game, and although this, yes, is a team fight composition that they locked in, it's not control mage, team fight jungler, you know, with a sort of tanky top. It is a sort of tanky top. It is a team fight jungler, but it's not the same ones that we've seen. It's a Diana, it's an Aatrox. Those are different, and then the set in the mid lane is so far from a control mage, and they executed upon it so incredibly well. So massive props to the side of Radiant Storm Rampage. And if you're AoE, you just shake that one off. You lost this one. It's okay. You still won the first game. It all comes down to game number 3.
Yeah, and kind of taking a look at the damage charts as well. We questioned that Aatrox matchup into the Cho'Gath, but Aatrox coming out ends up doing the most damage in this game. And I also like the flexibility from those two melee kind of brawler champions coming out from Radiant Storm. We did see even a little bit of lane swapping going on, and that was some great flexibility. We had pointed out in game one how the Victor was kind of pigeonholed into going to this side lane where he wasn't really comfortable, and Radiant Storm just really kind of fixing that lack of flexibility here in game two.
Yeah, definitely fixing that. And I'm interested to see too. Now they've showed their hand though, right? AoE can kind of expect this is in Radiant Storm's wheelhouse. So where do you go from here is the question. Does Radiant Storm have more tricks up their sleeves, or will AoE Team 1 be able to adapt? And I think adaptation is the name of the game. We've said that word so many times now in this game too, but it's so incredibly, it can't be understated how important adaptation is. Being able to respond to what the enemy team wants to do and come back with your own solution to the problem.
Absolutely. So we had a great game two. Looking forward to game three in this Titan Esports Conqueror League. We've got AoE taking on Radiant Storm, and we'll see you for game three.
It's not how much time you have. It's how you use it.
I'm absolutely livid.
And we're back for game three of AoE taking on Radiant Storm Rampage. AoE rampaged their own way through game one. Radiant Storm was able to do the same thing in game two. And now, going into game three, we're going to see if AoE will be able to kind of shrug off those struggles that they were having in game two and take it back.
Yeah, definitely. AoE kind of just got rolled over in the last game, but it was a convincing game one win, and we talked about how adaptation is the name of the game. So presumably with draft coming underway pretty shortly, we'll be able to see if they were able to pull out some new picks of their own, or whether or not they'll succumb once again to the team fighting of Radiant Storm Rampage, the undefeated Titans here. But look at that draft starting right on cue, with the Vladimir once again being banned out 3 games in a row here from AoE Team 1.
Yeah, they don't want to let Carbonetics get his hands on that one. As for Radiant Storm in Game 2, they did ban out that Viego. We'll see that one again. Probably going to ban out the Aurelia as well, as AoE had so much success on that. And we'll see if Rats of Chaos, he struggled in Game 2. Will he be able to get himself back onto something that will be able to lead his team to victory here in Game 3? Skiz really dominating that jungle matchup in Game 2. He on that Diana. We'll see if he can pick that one up again, or if we'll see jungle priority here from Radiant Storm again, as that has kind of been our signature matchup throughout this series.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting. AOE Team 1 going for the Ashe ban in the last 2 games after first picking it in game number 1. So clearly having very high priority on this Ashe pick in the series. And that tells me that they're not willing to first pick Ashe here in this game, and likely not willing to first pick AD carry in this game if it's not going to be that Ashe. So that tells me that they probably have something else in mind. I'm really interested to see what it will be, as it is the same 3 bans from Radiant Storm Rampage. And there it is, Volibear coming out for Team 1. So you have to think this is something that they said coming into this draft, that they wanted to first pick themselves. They wanted to get their hands on this champion, which was, I believe, banned out in the first game and the second game.
Absolutely, and Gwen also was banned out previously. That's going to be quickly picked up on the side of Radiant Storm Rampage. We'll see what they want to follow it up with, but Gwen, a very strong solo laner, usually in the top lane, and they're going to follow it up with the Set. That was so strong last game for Carbonetics. He's going to have a little bit of comfort on his hands with that pick once again.
Yeah, so this is a bit unexpected for me. Double solo laners locked in here in first rotation red side for Radiant Storm Rampage. Not something that you typically see, especially on red side where you have the benefit of counterpick. But I guess they said that the Set worked so well that they want to get their hands back on it this time. And Gwen may be a counterpick into the Volibear. However, I kind of think the Volibear matchup into the Gwen is not too terrible. But Smear Thresh going to come out. Vayne as the response. Hey now.
Yeah, and that Vayne kind of going to be a throwdown against this Samira and the Thresh with some priority on the bot lane for AOE Team 1. And we talked about Fortress Store being a huge strength for Radiant Storm Rampage last game. He's not going to get the Nautilus this time. And now AOE going to potentially have the chance to ban out up to 2 supports with the Lulu coming out. Going to ban that one away. Don't want that one. Buffing up the Vayne in the bot lane. And we'll see if they can find something else for Fortress Store to be on. Whether they'll pick something for him to roam around, kind of stick with.
You have to ban Morgana. You have to ban Morgana here, right? If you're Team 1. I mean, yeah, because I agree with you. You need a support that can be proactive, and Morgana does fit that bill, and the Black Shield gets so much value here. I like the Lulu ban to protect the Vayne, but no, it's going to be a Xin Zhao ban trying to take away junglers for Radiant Storm Rampage, maybe force him back onto the Diana there. But I feel like Morgana pick should come through here for Radiant Storm, but it's going to be a Leona.
Yeah, and Leona not very strong into that Thresh. We know he can kind of flay the Leona away when she tries to go in, so maybe not putting as much stock in that laning phase for Radiant Storm Rampage, perhaps hoping that this Leona will just be able to roam around the map and make a difference that way, as we see Tom Kench going to come in as the answer to likely the Gwen top lane from AOE Team 1.
Oh, I love this from Team 1. Picking the Echo up as well. Radiant Storm Rampage, I was just talking about, the Morgana gets so much value in that lane, but they go for the Leona, which I think is a great champion right now. I actually was talking in between draft to Elsa here about how I've been surprised by the lack of Leona priority in this series. So seeing it come out is not entirely surprising, except it is an awful lane into this Thresh Samira. They're going to have complete run of the mill. And how does AoE respond to this? They send the Volibear into the jungle flex matchup. Tom Kench up to the top lane. Fantastic roamer zone, right? And Echo in the mid lane as well. That is a dive bot composition if I've ever seen one. If you're going to try to set lag extreme behind on this Vayne, this is the way to do it. And this is the only, I should say, backline damage threat that you have on your entire composition if you're Radiant Storm. So AoE, I feel like, just got a sick draft here.
Yeah, and as you pointed out kind of earlier, Radiant Storm Rampage, that last pick of the Diana, it was really powerful for Skiz last game, but they're not really taking the advantages that Red Side should afford them. Yep, no backline for it, and they're really just, you mentioned them throwing down with those 2 solo lane picks right away. They weren't able to take advantage of those counter picks. They're really getting no value out of that round 5 last pick, and kind of got to question that coming out from Radiant Storm in this draft. Maybe a bit of a snafu.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it's a comfort pick, right? They think it's strong. It worked really well in last game. But again, why are you pick your comfort picks early in the draft if you don't care what the matchup is? And I feel like AoE Team 1 sort of forced Skiz onto this champion, wanting to save counter pick for their jungler. And with the Volibear being a flex, it wasn't actually revealed until this last rotation. And then they realized, well, what do we pick into it? I guess the Diana, because it's a good champion, but it loses to the Volibear in the 1v1. It loses in the early game pressure. It loses out in tempo on the bottom side of the map, which Team 1 has in spades. Not to mention this Leona going to be stuck inside our lane probably the entire laning phase. I really am a huge fan of what AOE has locked in. I feel like Radiant Storm definitely has their work cut out for them in this game so far.
Absolutely, and so a little bit, we think that AOE looks to be winning the draft here early on, and I'm really going to be looking into this top lane. Damien Durst, he picked that other tank pick in the Cho'Gath in Game 2, wasn't really able to take advantage of it, even though it seemed like he should have had the stronger lane into Captain Phil, and now Captain Phil on this Gwen this time, another pick that's able to kind of cut down those tanks. Will Damien Durst be able to have a better showing on this Tahm Kench? We'll have to see as we're onto the Rift for game number 3.
Yeah, we will see for game number 3. I like that one. I'm going to use that in my next cast. But yeah, 5-point start once again, 3 games in a row, and this is going to be an exciting game. I feel like AOE has really thrown down the gauntlet with their composition, but it's comfort for Radiant Storm Rampage, and that's all you really need. As this time around, we're going to have a little bit of level 1 as invade onto the red buff there, getting a ward down for the side of AOE. As a hook gonna land, not gonna mean anything, just some supportal combat right there.
Yep, and a little bit of an invade coming out from AoE, really just kind of for vision, as they are able to set down a ward onto the red buff of Skiz, so they will be able to know where he starts out. No vision coming out into the jungle of AoE from Radiant Storm, so that's going to be a little bit of an advantage for AoE coming in, as now we see another invade coming in towards this blue side, 3 members strong.
They're already committing.
Available. And we do even see the Samira coming as well. Hook gonna come through. They're gonna grab the Skiz on the Diana. She's gonna be able to flash out. Now Leona, she's gonna be taken low, able to flash out as well. So no kills coming through from AoE, but 2 early flashes blown crucially. And Skiz gonna be set behind as he runs over to his red buff.
This is absolutely huge. It doesn't matter that they got no kills. They get the flash out of the Leona as well as the Diana, and it forces out a vertical jungle, which plays perfectly into the game plan that AoE has set up for themselves. It's going to isolate the bottom side of the map, meaning that you can deny CS from this Vayne and start setting up early vision control for early dive potential, as well as, again, weak side Tahm Kench. He can hold his own in this Gwen lane. You're not going to be able to dive this guy with a Diana and a Gwen. It's too squishy. There's no one to reset tower aggro. So this level 1, although you don't find any kills, massively benefits the side of AoE, and already I'm loving the game plan that they have come out with so far in this game.
Yeah, and Rats of Chaos, he doesn't care that he's spotted when
he's
he
gonna
runs
3
through
quadrant
this mid lane. Yeah, he's gonna try to look for this 3 buff, but we do see some vision being laid down by Carbonetics for his jungler, as Skiz gonna come in, try to take this red buff. It looks like he will be able to pick that up, so is able to do some damage control there.
Yeah, we'll be able to pick that one up. Good roam down from his mid laner, and if you're going to go for a 3 buff, you need to make sure that you have mid priority, and that was the piece that Rats of Chaos is actually lacking here. He walked over, and now actually he puts himself behind in this jungle clear by trying to go for that 3 buff and failing. So not optimal jungle pathing there from Rats of Chaos, and actually kind of throws away, I think, a big advantage that they had on their level 1 of you could have just forced a vertical jungle. But regardless, he still does force some awkward pathing out here from Skiz, throwing this Diana off balance. It does mean something. However, no immediate advantages will be gained.
Yeah, and now Rats of Chaos, we will see him run up to this Scuttle Crab, potentially putting Skiz in a little bit of an awkward position, but he's going to look at her, a gank into this bot lane, is going to jump in.
The flash.
Nice hook coming out, but now we're going to see the teleport
on the way.
coming down from Damien Durst, I believe. And, both teleports coming out, and Leona, she's going to go low. Will Samir be able to pick up the kill? Yes,
but
going to get the first blood.
5v5.
And now it's a 5v5 into this bottom lane, and the flash forward from Rats of Chaos, able to pick up the kill onto Skiz. That's a 2-for-1, as now the stun coming out from Echo. Rats of Chaos gonna come down, and the Echo now gonna be able to pick up Captain Phil, ultimately gonna be a 3-for-2 on the side of AoE.
3-for-2 on the side of AoE, and the first blood money in their back pocket as well. It's 4 teleports, 2 junglers, and a partridge and a pear tree down in the bottom lane. The flash is being blown, ends up paying off. The focus was sloppy, but the kills are there. My, oh my, it's been a crazy early game, from early invades to mistakes in pathing to ganks in the bottom side, as Madolce wants a piece of Lag Extreme.
Oh, and that's just going to miss out from the Leona. trying to punish the over-aggression on the side of Medolce, but ultimately not able to do so, as crucially, the aggression coming out in games 1 and 2 were both very one-sided, but even though AOE slightly winning out on that, we do see both teams getting some value as the gold is still dead even here about 5 minutes into the game.
That's the craziest part to me, is that after all of this, the gold is still even, because the extra kill went over to the to AOE, but farm in the top side and in jungle, due to the faster clear speeds, as well as mid of the Diana, and the pressure that Carbonetics has had meant that the teleports from AOE meant that they missed out just a little bit. However, kill on this Mirror, kill on this Echo, kill on this Volibear. That's where you want to allocate your gold. You need to find somebody that can bridge you through this mid game so that you can attempt to dive bottom. And that's your 3 divers right there. That's what you want if you're AoE. Meanwhile, Gwen getting a kill, definitely good. Set getting a kill, definitely good. But I feel like for these mid game fights, it's going to be about the kills that AoE got.
Yep, and we do see Rats of Chaos pathing towards this mid lane. Looks like he's going to get behind the set as the stun just missing. Carbonetics, yeah, as you point out, he does have that flash available, is going to use the Haymaker, he's going to flash out, and not able to take him down on the side of AoE, but he will have that flash down. That definitely has a lot of potential for a turn gank on the side of Rats of Chaos.
Nice gank there by Rats of Chaos. It should get them the dragon, or at least solid control over it. He understood that Skiz was going to want to continue full clearing to try to hit level 6. He knew exactly how long that was going to take. Skiz was still finishing up his Krugs when the gank came down mid. So just that extra 15-second window is all you need. You get the flash off. You get the mid lane pressure as well. You get the potential for a bot side gank. You're going to be able to crash this wave, and you can try to zone off some CS here. Lag Extreme, nice tumble, though.
Yep, is going to be able to get away, as we do see some trading forward from the Leona Lantern to get Medolce to safety. And bot lane is the one lane for AoE that is going to be a little bit ahead in farm in front of Radiant Storm. And the Samira pick, they were very confident kind of first picking this AD, and Medolce is making it show why they did it early in this game.
Yeah, it is worth pointing out that, as I said, Skiz was busy farming while Rats of Chaos was trying to make these plays happen. So he's actually pretty far ahead in the 1v1. He is 1 camp off of level 6. Meanwhile, Rats of Chaos just hit level 5 off of the Dragon. However, Rats of Chaos has been securing advantages for his team. But this Diana hit critical mass last game and took over. And although he doesn't have the kills that he had last game, the farm is certainly there. And with the Moonfall coming through in just a moment, it will be something to keep an eye out for. However, gold remains dead even. Ocean Drake separates these teams. Definitely the best dragon to get in the laning phase, as ult's going to be traded topside.
Yep, and Damian Durst able to jump out as Captain Phil brings him low, but doesn't have the damage to pick up the kill. Not exactly sure where Rats of Chaos is either, so not wanting to dive too deep. And that's just going to be kind of a stalemate in the top lane, as we've hit a little bit of a slower point in the game here. Just as I say that, we do see this flash forward from the Leona, going to be flayed back and denied, but Samira knocked away by the Vayne from the Lantern, but she is able to get back, and that was almost a very cool condemn coming out from Lag Extreme, but ultimately Medolce is able to get back to that Lantern from Fright Knight, and that's why you pick up this Thresh in the bot lane.
Wow, that was a clencher right there from Medolce, able to get himself out of that one. Flash is blown, but that was to be expected, as Hook is going to land on a Fortress Door. Nice trade, not much going to come, though, into the minion wave.
Both teams going pretty low, probably not enough damage coming out here from the side of Radiant Storm to go for a dive, as we see a top lane play here from Rats of Chaos is Gwen. She is going to be able to dash her way to safety. Will they go all the way for the dive under the turret? As Rats, he takes one turret shot, is able to dodge out from another one. He's going to bop him for the kill. Captain Phil going down. And Damian Durst and Rats of Chaos able to stay alive, as now we see an answering gank down here to the bot lane.
Oh, live stream!
Vayne, what are you doing? Going under the turret. She's going to go low, ticking with the ignite, but able to keep herself alive for Lag Extreme. And gank is going to work out in the top lane for AoE. Not going to work out for Radiant Storm. As some trading going down in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, Lag Extreme catching a break there. The Samir Q went wide on the tumble out, so he's able to keep his life. But that was a aggressive tumble, shall I say, under the turret right there, as the dive was there on the top side. It wasn't bottom, like I may have expected. However, Cyclone getting pushed out of this mid lane a lot more than I anticipated in this draft. I expected the Echo with the Time Winders to be able to have a better time, but that's set damage. Look at that trading pattern. Just, you know, more sustain, more damage in this matchup, and it's meant that the Echo has stayed pretty locked down, meaning that the 4-man dive on the bottom side has not really come to fruition. Regardless, AOE does still hold a kill lead in their favor, and I would say scaling, although it is theoretically in favor of the side of Radiant Storm with the Vayne, hold that thought.
Oh, nice ultimate coming out here from the Echo,
He's right back.
as very low from Carbonetics. Will he be able to
There it
run
is.
away? No, he will not. Cyclone
Passive.
picking up the 1v2 as Skiz coming in. Leona, Fortress Door, able to go forward and get the stun down. Now Skiz able to pick up
No
the kill on
flash.
Cyclone, but here's Rats of Chaos. He wants to get an answer as Fright Knight is here, Damien Durst is here, and ultimately that Tom Kent's gonna gobble up the kill. Gonna be able to get himself a little bit more gold here, but crucially in the top lane, Captain Phil is able to get a little bit of free time on this turret.
Yeah, the free time on this turret actually going to even up the gold being traded across here. AOE sacrificing so much time to go for these plays, but they're not done. Teleport coming through.
Yeah, teleport into the bot lane as we see the stun coming out from Leona. She's going to go low. Will she be able to go down? No, as we see Lag Extreme, he's going to be able to chase down
on the Vayne.
Rats of Chaos. As more fighting here as Carbonetics has arrived, able to go forward, and Samira not anywhere to go. Damien Durst gonna try to make something happen, ultimately not able to, and now Captain Phil has arrived as well, gonna drop the ultimate down. Will he be able to pick up this Echo? Not able to do it, ultimately gonna go down, but not until a Fortress Door picked up as well. But in the end, Radiant Storm will have the member advantage. They are gonna go onto this turret, and Tom Kench trying to dive down, jump back up, but will be stunned back by the Vayne.
Yeah, definitely a good fight there from the side of Radiant Storm. AOE just not respecting the importance of their cooldowns right there. They didn't have ultimate available onto either Cyclone or Rats of Chaos, and that ended up being crucial. 2 kills, one of them being a shutdown picked up by AOE as the fight's not over again.
Yeah, here they come as Captain Phil still down there, gonna jump back out. Rats of Chaos gonna be able to pick up Skiz. Will they be able to get any
tanky.
more? Looks like they're on the back foot as Damien
shields.
Durst gonna flash out. Will he be able to stay alive? Yes, he will. Rats of
re-engage.
Chaos going back in again. Leona so tanky as well, but ultimately looks like she'll probably go down, but no, able to run away as a double kill coming out from Carbonetics. What a play! Cyclone wants to get some back for himself. Not able to do so, and he'll get lanterned out to safety by his support, Fright Knight.
And at the end of it all, the game is 9-8. At the end of it all, the kills are 2-2. But guess what? At the end of it all, the farm is what matters. And this Gwen, this set, they've been farming up their lanes. They've been pushing them in, and they've been punishing the over-aggression from the side of AOE. So despite the kills being in their favor, the gold is not, as Cyclone fancies himself a 1v1.
Yep, Captain Phil looks like he wants to get the 1v1 here into Cyclone, and it's a trick. It's not a 1v1. Skiz is going to be here. That's not fair, and he's going to pick up the kill onto Cyclone, and after a dominant game from one on the side of each teams in games 1 and 2, we couldn't ask for more in game 3 with a really even matchup.
Yeah, a really even matchup indeed. Wow, I mean, Radiant Storm Rampage looks like, however, they might be pulling ahead in this one. I said they were theoretically an outscaling composition with the Vayne on their side and the Gwen as well, but I said the outplay potential, or I was going to say before 8 million fights started, the outplay potential for AOE is there. However, with the gold in their favor, you'd have to think that Radiant Storm, the outplay potential window closes just that bit more, and Radiant Storm will be able to maneuver in these fights just that little bit better. That extra gold could be pivotal as, once again, Diana showing up in the bottom lane.
Yep, and here's Leona going to be able to jump in and be that aggressor. Oh, and we do see Skiz hitting the ultimate. That's going to be another kill over to Lag Extreme on the Vayne. And we had some criticisms of this Leona pick into the Thresh, but Fortress Door had a huge game 2. He has been able to make it happen with this pick again in game 3. And quietly, Skid also a little bit of a level, or over one level over Rats of Chaos in this jungle matchup. And I also criticized the last pick of this Diana, not the pick in and of itself, but kind of not using that counter pick. But they have made it pay off, as well as these solo lanes, kind of showing why Radiant Storm would have put the priority on these champions.
Yeah, AOE just needs to slow down this game and take a breath. They're trying to force too many fights. They have the better early game composition. They have the better skirmish comp, but they need to be able to take a breath and still set up their plays properly. You can't just throw yourself at the enemy team and expect the play to work.
Oh, Rats of Chaos will do just that. He throws himself under the top lane turret, going to be tanking this turret, and they're not going to be able to pick up the kill.
They didn't have the wave.
Phil doesn't have the flash available, but it doesn't matter as that hook goes through the minions. Very nice hook coming out from Fright Knight, as Skiz going to jump forward. Not going to be able to make anything happen as he doesn't have his ultimate available, but here's the dive. Part 2 is we're going to see the stun from Rats of Chaos. He's going to be able to pick up the kill, and the Tom Kench going to go down, but it will be an execution, so no gold coming over for Captain Phil there, as Rats of Chaos, where are you going, buddy? He's going to run under the turret, is going to go down, and Fortress Door, not necessarily the best target for the gold, but rather him pick it up than nobody, I suppose.
I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. AOE, they go up to the top side. Rats of Chaos wants to make the dive happen, but they didn't have the wave there. So by the time the volley barrel goes down and Damien Durst joins the fight, someone's taking turret already.
Oh, as we got a 1v1 between these 80 carries, and Madolche, very impressive, able to take down that 1v1. And Vayne had those 3 kills, had a bounty on her head, and as you said, huge for Madolche to be able to pick up that gold and kind of snowball on this Samira pick.
Yeah, that brings Madolche back to somewhat even footing here with Lag Extreme. Actually, maybe even slightly ahead in the overall gold department here as I can toggle it. Yeah, he's about ahead by about 100 gold, so it brings this game back a lot. It looked like AOB sort of starting to fall apart, but with the Samira picking up a kill, that does give them something to try to fall back on. However, that does not change the fact that Vayne is 3-1-3. That does not change the fact that they just lost their top lane tier 1. I really want to see Rats of Chaos. He needs to group up with Cyclone. I feel like Cyclone's been very quiet in this game so far. Not been able to activate himself the way he probably had in mind when he locked in this Echo pick. And it sort of left Rats of Chaos to be the catalyst for his team. And I said, for better or for worse, no matter the play that he was, here comes another fight.
Yep, and Fortress Door, he's just going to be caught out and go down early as we see 4 members strong jumping in. But Skiz, huge AoE damage. Captain Phil going to finish off Rats of Chaos. Fright Knight going to follow. A double kill coming out for this Gwen. A triple kill, and that's going to be 4-4-0 for Radiant Storm. That might be what they need to run away with this game.
The claps from AoE was good, but Skiz was better. The 4-man moon fell on top of AoE, and they get taken down in the topside river. Their top lane tier 2 now under fire. It's a big team fight for Radiant Storm Rampage, and you have to think that this game is just slowly but surely falling in the way of the red team right now. 4,500 gold in the lead. Dragon going to spawn in 30 seconds as well. I liked the play from AoE. This time, I said they needed to group up and they needed to fight together. They did just that, but they grouped up a little too much for the Diana ultimate and get taken down.
Yeah, and I misspoke. They were able to pick up Fortress Door for 1 kill to be able to trade as we see more aggression coming out into the bot lane. Facebreaker coming out from the set, going to be able to grab 2. Haymaker
no Diana this time.
But now they're on the back foot as we see Cyclone. He wanted to make a difference. Will he be able to delete the AD carry? No, he's going to go down. Wasn't even able to use his ultimate. But, and now we do see
the Gwen
still on this back line, and another triple kill from the Gwen. Captain Phil making it count on this pick. A quadra kill coming out. And this bot lane turret's gonna go down. Now we see a big gold lead developing, almost 7k on the side of the red team. And Radiant Storm, they're showing us again why they put priority on this Gwen and this set, starting off the fight on the side of the set and the Gwen finishing it off.
Elsa, this game is blown wide open. We thought the Vayne was a problem. We thought the Diana was a problem. Well, how about a well-farmed Gwen? Captain Phil, leveraging the lead that he was able to get in the 1v1, roams down to the bottom side here, picks himself up a quadra kill, and I have to think that AOE, they don't have it left in the tank. They get taken down. The dragon will fall as well. 4 turrets to nothing is the score. 2 dragons to 1 is the dragon score, and 19 to 12 is the game score. Radiant Storm Rampage, they have come online in game number 3.
Yeah, and lots of problems here for AOE, but I would like to highlight the Vayne getting so fed. It makes it so easy for her to shred through these tankier champions in the Volibear and the Tom Clench, and then for Captain Phil on the top side, or wherever he does want to go, he's not going to be able to be mashed in these side lanes by one champion, especially not the Tom Kench. We know that the Gwen can be so good at cutting down these tanks as the game goes on, and she has just been absolutely rocketed into more items here with those 2 team fights in a row. So it gets to be really difficult here in terms of the lane assignments for AoE.
And it just gets even more difficult because look at this. They can just start Baron. You have a Vayne, you have a Gwen, you have a Diana. This will go down so fast. AoE, they're very slow in the response. By the time they get here, it's already going to be gone. This is a free Baron at 20 minutes.
Yeah, and game 1 AoE was, or Radiant Storm Rampage, I'm sorry, was very slow out of the gate, but they have just turned on the accelerator here in game 2 and 3, absolutely showing why they're 2-0 in this league, and they're going to use this Baron straight onto the mid lane turret, not even needing to recall, and they're going to take that one down. I want to know, will they just be able to continue onto this inhibitor turret?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no reason to back off. You've also got your wave pushing in bot and top. You could roam out to the side lanes if you wanted to. Break into the 1-3-1. Teleport is available on set if you wanted to send him alone, and it looks like they are going to do just that. Link up with their wave here on the bottom side. Baron buff it up. You'd have to think that this will be the final outer turret going down. And remember, the gold lead was about 1,000 in favor of AoE at roughly the 7-minute mark, and it has just spiraled out of control.
Oh, and here's Skiz again with another huge engage. He's going to go golden and get rid of the turret aggro. Fright Knight going to go down along with his jungler Rats of Chaos. And that's just a quick 2 for 0. And you got to think now that Radiant Storm Rampage is just going to be able to push right in here and pick up their first inhibitor.
Is Radiant Storm going to be able to end the game? I mean, the death timers are so short, but they can just deathfall through the base. AoE has basically no response here. They needed to get ahead with the skirmish composition, try to shut down this Vayne. They were able to do none of this. It looks like Radiant Storm Rampage will just be backing off through the mid lane.
Yeah, interesting choice here. Damien Durst is going to look to try to punish it. He does have that extra health available to him. As Cyclone going to jump in. And now it looks like, as Carbonetics, he's going to get hooked up, is going to be able to survive. Fortress Door jumping in, trying to help his team. Ultimately will get taken down.
I got like a stream.
Fright Night. But here's Rats of Chaos in the middle of nowhere. 2 have gone down. Oh, is he going to be saved by Damien Durst? And now it doesn't look quite as good as Captain Phil. He's going to try to make something happen, but he is low on mana. Will he be able to take down Damien Durst? Looks like he's got the reinforcements here now as Damien is going to be able to flash away. Facebreaker will not land from Carbonetics. Skiz jumping in, though, by himself. Skiz. Too far. Fright Knight going to be able to hook him up. Shutdown coming out from the Samira. And that's pretty impressive coming out from AoE, given just how far behind they've fallen in this game.
Yeah, passing through mid lane was suspect, I would say, from Radiant Storm Rampage, but AoE, I mean, that's the best look at the fight they're going to have all game. Diana, once again, not there, but this time around, the health bars were low on the side of Radiant, and they do manage to get a couple of kills, but nothing more than that. Shut down in the back pocket of Rats of Chaos, 5, 7, and 5 on this Volibear, 1.5 items to his name, but that's 2.5 items on this Vayne, 2.5 items on this set, 2.5 items on the Diana, 3 items completed on Captain Phil with Soul Point Dragon just about spawning. You'd have to think that it doesn't even matter the kills that went over. Radiant Storm is just too far ahead. The inhibitor is still down as well. They're going to have Cyclone try to push up this top side, maybe trade back a bit of gold. No, he will recall to try to join his team. Actually, maybe a bit of indecision. Wants to Gromp instead. As Radiant Storm, though, they have all the time in the world to set up this objective with the perma pushing bot wave that they have.
Yep, and it looks like they will set up to try to take this dragon. Number 3, as things slow down a little bit. They are going to control this vision, perhaps try to pick up some kind of catch onto a member of AOE, but they're going to be too smart for that. They're not going to fall into it. But now, here's Captain Phil waiting in the wings. We are going to see potentially the sun come out from Cyclone. No, he's not going to land it. Will get the ultimate off, but where do you have to go? Ultimate coming out from Captain Phil. Just one more dash, and he should be able to cut down Cyclone, and he will do so, going legendary on this Gwen pick, which has been so huge in this game. Oh, but here's Rats of Chaos. He is going to be able to make something happen as he jumps in and steals away the dragon, but now he's going to be 1v2. Captain Phil coming in on the assist. Another kill for this Gwen, and now with 2 down from AOE, will they be able to push up the mid lane and get another inhibitor?
I think Captain Phil, I think it's time to promote him to Colonel Phil, because this guy is playing out of his mind. 11, 3, and 8 here on this Gwen. It is a monstrous game from the top laner of Radiant, and the gold is only growing. 11,000 in the lead, another inhibitor down, and AOE, is this your final stand? Do you have what it takes to win the game?
Yep, and Radiant looking to end the game here as they're going to fight under the Nexus turrets. Gonna take down Cyclone and Damien Durst. Will they be able to take down the rest of the kills as Medolce trying to make a last stand, but not going to make it happen. Double kill coming out from the Gwen. She's going to go golden. These Nexus turrets are not long for the world. Neither is AOE as Radiant Storm Rampage. Going to be able to pick up this game 3. Going to be able to pick up the series for their team, and they will be 3-0 in this Titan Esports League.
Wow, what a series coming through from Radiant Esports Rampage. Going down in a pretty convincing loss to AOE in game number 1, where both teams played pretty well as well. And then coming back, smashing game number 2. Then in game number 3, it was scrappy. It looked a little sketchy, but then Gwen got a quadra kill, and it was over from that point on.
Yeah, and we highlighted at the beginning of the game how we wondered whether or not Damien Durst was going to be able to make this tank work after it didn't really pan out for him in game 2, and just getting absolutely punished by the side of Radiant Storm. And yeah, absolutely huge performance coming out from Captain Phil on this Gwen. Also another great game on the set in the mid lane, and they're just able to after a lot of skirmishing early in the game, they're just able to really grasp it by the horns and take it down.
Yeah, and I feel like a big point about this game is AoE Cyclone here on the Echo, not, I think, able to make the same impact that he may have wanted to with this pick. I feel like him and Rats of Chaos were not able to group up in this early to mid game and make the plays that they wanted to with these picks, and that really hindered their ability to continue making plays in the mid game. And definitely not all on his shoulders, but it definitely is tough to pick such an aggressive pick and not make those plays happen. However, I do want to give a shout out to the members of AOE playing a good series. They're the only team that's taken a win or a game, I should say, off of Radiant Storm Rampage. They won their last 2 series 2-0 in pretty convincing fashion, and just on the day, Radiant Storm proving that they are the team to beat here in Titan Esports Conqueror.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to be impressed by we pointed out in game 2, but continuing into game 3, just the mental fortitude after that absolute slap that happened in game 1 by AOE, coming out with that, especially that Aurelian Viego pick. But Radiant Storm Rampage in game 2 and 3, they calm down, they ban out those crucial picks for AOE, and they bring out that adaptation and are just able to cruise through the rest of the series.
Yeah, cruise through the series indeed, and just really well done to both teams and to Radiant Storm for their win.
Absolutely. Well, I had a great time casting this, Hawk. Thank you for being here with me, and that's going to be it for this series between AOE and Radiant Storm Rampage in the Titan Esports League, and we'll see you again soon.